This is the third installment of the series covering unique and one-of-a-kind EDC products. We got a bit of an odd bunch today, but some really cool and unique items. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. First up, we've got the tie slide from Daily Carry Co. This is a titanium-bodied M390 gravity knife. I'm going to start right away by saying this is probably illegal to carry wherever you live. Be sure to check your local laws and regulations. In Oregon here, we have some pretty loose knife laws because so many of the knife manufacturers are here, but even here, I don't think I'm allowed to carry this out in public. That being said though, it's just such a cool and unique knife. I couldn't help myself. I had to grab one and get a closer look for myself. If memory serves me right, I think these were originally used for paratroopers. If you get caught in a tree, you're hanging upside down, you can still get your knife out to cut yourself out of the tree. Really cool backstory though. I'll be sure to confirm in the edit just in case I'm wrong, or let me know down in the comments if you know a little bit more about the history. So with a gravity knife, you have a fully assisted open and close with gravity. It makes for this really satisfying fidgety type of motion. Aside from the magnets, there's no physical lock here. I would like to see that. It would make me a little bit more comfortable carrying this around in my pocket, but it does seem to work pretty well to the point where I am able to close it with gravity, but I haven't really been able to master a one-handed open. Such a really cool minimalist type of design here. It's a grade 5 titanium body. You have an M390 Tonto style blade. Total length here is about 6.7 inches and the blade is just under 3 inches. They had to make it a little bit shorter to account for this hinge mechanism in the back, I'm assuming. But this is a thick, chunky type of blade. It might just be for the sake of the Tonto style, but I believe it might be because of this M390 steel. It holds an edge really well, but it's pretty tough to sharpen, and you can't have a really thin angle. It weighs 91 grams, so right around 3 ounces. You probably aren't able to carry this in public, but still really cool to check out and see and share with all of you. That's where the series really shines, finding these kind of one-of-a-kind oddball type of items. Daily Carry Co. has a few other options as well. They have one called the Mag Blade that's more of a butterfly knife style that's kind of similar to this. Wanted to just focus on the tie slide for now, but I've been testing and using this one now after a couple of months with this. I'd love to hear if you have any experience with gravity knives. Let me know in the comments down below. Next on the list is the AirCare 2.0 AirPods Cleaning Kit from KeyBuds. I know there are a handful of ways to clean AirPods. I've always used microfiber cloths and Q-tips and stuff. It's annoying and wasteful because you got to throw out all that extra stuff. I saw this though and really fell in love with it. The fit and finish and quality of everything in this nice little AirPods-esque type of packaging was really great. It's exactly what you think it is though. You have this main stylus here that has a pointed end, and then you have a little microfiber brush end on that. And then inside of the case, you have a few different stylus tips. These are interchangeable. Each has its own purpose for certain parts of the AirPods. I don't know if I'm the only one, but my AirPods get really waxy really quickly. I just have naturally waxy ears. Probably gross to hear, but it is the truth. You also get a little bit of sticky tack here, and there's a nice little booklet that kind of walks you through all the different steps to get a proper clean. I've had this for a few months and I've used it a handful of times. Works great. It's really inexpensive. Having cleaner AirPods, 1, is good for hygiene, but 2 is better for sound quality. Next up on the list is the MOFT Invisible Tripod. I know I've talked about this thing before a few times just because I absolutely love it, but I am actually partnering with MOFT on this week's video, so a huge thanks to them for supporting the channel. You all know I'm a huge fan of MagSafe kickstands and tripods. I've been testing a ton of them for years now. As far as I'm aware of, this is the smallest and most versatile MagSafe tripod in existence. It folds completely flat and attaches to your phone via MagSafe. With a quick snap motion, it unfolds into a surprisingly substantial tripod that can be set up in a ton of different ways. It gets up to 8 inches in total height. You can keep it vertical to use for video calls or horizontal for watching TV or YouTube, as well as close-up macro photos or videos. The built-in hinge mechanism is really strong and works great to be able to set up really specific angles to use it however you need. I really love using this thing for FaceTime calls. Ever since Apple TV updated with a FaceTime app and the continuity camera setup, it works really great for that. It's also been perfect for traveling when you're on a plane, want to set it up to watch TV, or in bed on the nightstand or something. I mainly use it for watching media, but it's obviously great for locked off shots if you're getting photo or video clips. It even kind of works like an extension handle for vlogging or selfies if that's your thing. I know I mentioned it's small, but this thing is absolutely tiny. It folds up to about the size of a credit card, and it's just a little bit over 1/4 of an inch thick. Also worth mentioning too, it does come with an adhesive metal ring if you want to use it on any Android phones or thick cases that block the MagSafe magnets. I've had this and used it for months now and really love it. It's by far my favorite and definitely the most unique in the category that I've found. Be sure to check the links in the description down below. Huge thanks again to MOFT for partnering with me on this week's video. I might be stretching the rules just a bit here with the one-of-a-kind definition, but this definitely falls under unique for our next item. This is the Woobin X2 flashlight in copper. After testing out the X0 a while back, if you remember, I came across the X2 here. It's kind of like the giant, more powerful big brother to the X0. I've been really happy with this thing. First off, with the obvious, you have a full copper body here. This thing is really heavy and smells like pennies. I've been wanting to build out a proper full copper EDC for some time now. Let me know if you might want to see a video on that in the future. Definitely really weighty here. It's a little over 8 ounces, 240 grams. We have 3 total LED lights. These are the Samsung LH35 1D. It gets up to 1800 lumens. There are a few other models and variants available that get up to 2500 lumens. And ones that are a little bit lighter if you don't want to go with the copper and want to save some weight with titanium or something like that. It's probably a bit exaggerated with the extra weight from the copper, but the build quality is just so incredible on this. It feels as solid gets in the hand. Also just really love this tail switch. It's the same type of design that the X0 has. Just super simple and super nice and satisfying to click. You can actually flip this open as well. It gets to the USB charging port. It's a USB-C rechargeable battery, gets up to 80 hours. I also have no idea how they do it with this kind of open flap type of design, but it's IP68 waterproof rated, so it can get up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. So, splash and rain, you don't have to worry about that at all. One minor but potential con I wanted to make sure and point out with this though, the pocket clip on the back is incredibly stiff. It might be a good thing for you, but it makes it a little bit more difficult to get in and out of the pants. I usually keep these in my sling bag though, as opposed to clipping them in my pockets. But if you're someone that always likes to use that clip, it might be worth mentioning. It's loosened up a bit after the first couple of weeks of using it, but it is still incredibly stiff on here. But really great build quality, super bright, USB-C rechargeable. I just really love this tail switch. The design feels really great in the hand with this size. Really can't go wrong with this, and I'd love to flesh it out with a full copper EDC setup sometime soon. Got something completely brand new for our next item. It's technically not even out yet. This is the Peachy G9. This is a gravity knife utility blade. So we talked about the Daily Carry Co., kind of big brother to this, but this is a little baby utility blade version, and I have been really loving it. They sent this out to me early to check out. It kind of worked out with the timing. I already had this video planned and scheduled before I received this, but it goes live on Kickstarter on the 13th, so it should be a few days from after this gets released. It's a grade 5 titanium exterior that's stone washed. You have this really nice ridge design on it, but this is really satisfying and pocketable to be able to flip in and out. Definitely much more fidget factor here with this sliding mechanism and the smaller size compared to the Daily Carry Co. knife. Also, I've just been really into utility blades lately. Super convenient being able to just swap out the blade instead of worrying about sharpening or, spending more for fancier steels. There's really not much else to say about it. I assume that's kind of by design. It's simple and clever, and it's, a cool utility knife. It does have a little locking mechanism on here, which is welcomed. So you can kind of throw this in your pocket without worrying about sliding and, cutting your leg open or something like that. Functionally, it's been great. Fidget-wise, it's been really great as well. I'm not sure what the launch pricing will be, but again, I'll put a link in the description when it's ready. And I assume this will be coming with it as well, but you get this little leather carrying case. Overall, really good fit and finish here. I've just been on a big kick with different utility blades lately. Next up, I've got another odd blade of sorts. This is from a company called Coppertist. This is a little pendant that you can use as a necklace or a keychain. but you unscrew the head of this cuttlefish and you get a little box opener, box cutter knife. We accidentally ended up with a pretty blade and knife heavy episode here, not by design. I make these videos as I source and find these crazier things, so kind of just happened to work out that way this time, but I just came across too many unique ones that I couldn't help but pick up and share with all of you. So this is a little pendant, necklace, or keychain, depending on how you want to use it. I believe they market it more as a necklace, but I'm not a big necklace guy and don't have any chains to showcase it, so I put it on a little keychain ring here. What stands out to me with this is the actual design of the cuttlefish. When I picked this up, I also got this owl ring. I've worn it a few times in videos if you've picked it up. Really great attention to detail with the designs in this owl ring and this little cuttlefish. It's a brass pendant with a titanium blade on the inside, and these little cuttlefish eyes are made out of black agate. Just a really cool and unique type of design. I've seen plenty of neck knives in the past, but never little tiny pendant ones like this, and just had to share. And I wanted to just throw in a quick mention to this owl ring too that I've been really happy with. You know, little emerald eyes on there, just the detail with all of the little feathers and everything, just really great stuff. A little pendant keychain knife, never thought I would see the day. Bouncing back into tech for a minute, this is the SharGeek 100 power bank. There are tons of power banks on the market. I've never seen anyone that looks like this with this transparent design. Kind of like the Nothing phone if it had a power bank version. What I was really happy with though, testing this out, is this is a perfectly great and capable power bank on its own aside from the style. You know, sometimes you see certain items that are just a little bit more flash than functionality. You definitely get both here, which I can appreciate. It's a 25,000 milliamp hour battery on the interior. As far as the I/O and ports go, you have a 100 watt USB-C port in and out to be able to charge this or use it up to 100 watts. You have a variable wattage DC port that gets up to 75 watts. You have another USB-C that gets up to 30 watts, and then you have an 18 watt USB-A. Not leading class I/O in terms of the amount of ports or anything, but definitely more than capable enough for most people. It's also under 100 watt hours, so perfectly safe and worry-free for airlines. I talked about the OmniCharge 40 Plus a while back, and someone was concerned because it's 140 watt hours. It's kind of a gray area for most airlines, whether you're allowed to carry that or not. So this is definitely under the limit if you just don't want to stress or worry about it at all. In addition to the ports, you also have a little IPS display on here, which I always like to see, you know, the different transfer rates for the different devices I'm charging, as well as the battery percentage for the battery itself. That's been working well and kind of adds to this sort of transparent, you know, techie type of design. You know, looking on the interior, it looks like they probably have 8, I believe these are 18650 batteries. But yeah, just really cool, really unique. You know, if you're someone that likes to see inside of your tech, you know, if you're a Nothing phone owner or something, this would be perfect for you. Maybe a little bit big for some people's EDC, but it just depends on what you need and what you're carrying. Really great though, and holds its own to normal power banks that don't have, you know, their unique design language. But that actually wraps it up for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching, especially if you're still sticking around this long. I truly appreciate it. I know I was off last week, but I did want to give a quick update about my cat Wolfie. A ton of people were giving me some support in the comments on the last video. I really appreciate it. He's doing much better now after an incredibly difficult month, luckily. You must have heard his name because he came into my office right when I mentioned it. He's been doing a lot better, thankfully. It was a very difficult month for us, especially after last year. He had multiple surgeries. It has just been one thing after another, but we're all doing better now, thankfully, and I really appreciate the support and kind words there. I'd love to hear what your unique, one-of-a-kind type of EDC items are down in the comments. Leave that down below for me. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for watching though, and I'll talk to you in the next one.